Well, I'm gonna turn on the recorder. Welcome, everyone. Brian, welcome. Lisa. Otis. I see you got your hand up, Otis. You want to go ahead and ask a question real quick? Yes, I did get your question. So
that's what I was going to ask.
Yep, I did. We're going to talk about it. Okay, so I think everybody knows everybody here. I think we've all been on these calls in the past. Thank you for joining us. We had a couple others that haven't joined yet, but they'll join whenever they can. So we'll go ahead and kick this off today. Otis has got a question for us, but we'll go. It's going to take a little bit of discussion, so we'll save that for a little bit here. I want to open it up to the floor. And first off, Ruth Ann, I think you've met everybody, but you're welcome to introduce yourself again. And
great, thanks. I'm Ruth Ann Dunham with Service First Mortgage, and I've been doing this almost 30 years now. And I'm a traditional lender. I can do a lot of creative things. And in fact, I just referred a customer to another bank that's not our sister bank, because I also can be a source of where you can find things I can't provide. You know, if you don't need hard money from our other sponsor, then he and I probably both could point you in the right direction if we don't have the product you need. So that's important. And I'll put my information in the chat.
thank you. Ryan, you want to go ahead and, I think, again, you've talked to everybody, but you want to go ahead and.
Yeah, I think I've already spoken with everybody, including, I think, Otis. I think it might have been the first time I met you was this last weekend or 2 weekends ago. But hard money, if you guys are looking to finance anything, we'd lend up to 100%, up to 75% of the ARV.
Cool. And for the both of you, back at the Christmas party, you remember Altina Brooks, who won the 4 hours of mentoring certificate with me. We started yesterday, and she is so excited, but she's going to be calling both of you to talk about funding in her particular situation with her house that she currently owns and is free and clear. So if you haven't already heard from her, you will, because she's got some questions that I didn't want to try and answer for you. So, but she is so excited about getting started, you know, and trying to move forward. Turns out she has a associate's degree in construction management. I don't know if she told you that on Saturday. Associate's degree in construction management, and she started down the path of getting her architectural design degree, but she didn't finish that. So she's got a lot of knowledge, just didn't complete the schooling, and she's really excited about getting going in this business. So hopefully she'll see it through. So, okay, I'm opening up the floor. Anybody have a question that they'd like to really discuss here today on today's call before we get to Otis's question?
Just a quick thing, Tim. I was working on another deal that from probate, and it went off of probate, and things went slow. And the next thing I know, the person put the houses on the market. So, you know, that fell through. But I found out some information that really irritated me, that there's black mold in one of the houses. So to me, it's a moral dilemma, because I know because of this person, they're not going to disclose it when they sell the house. And then, so anybody know, I don't have a legal responsibility, but I feel moral about it. Or is there anything I could do?
Well, you know, that's a tough one, right?
Yeah. And I mean, in reality, I know that there's probably nothing I can do. There are probably other issues, and I already know it's going to be a tough house to sell, but she had 4 others, and I know that if there's only the black mold that I know is around the windows in the front of the house, because it probably leaked because they were old windows and it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, so it's not going to sell well anyway.
Yep. But
So
what,
yeah.
what I would probably say is, I mean, anybody that should be, or that's gonna look at buying it should be doing their own due diligence, right?
Right.
So, you
And
know,
that wouldn't be something that would show up on an inspection anyway, because it's covered up. Right.
Then I guess my question would be, how do you know that it's there?
that's where I was gonna go.
Because my handyman did work for her. And that's how I got the
So-
lead on the 5 houses, because my
The one thing I
handyman. Yeah.
that I would say, just to your moral dilemma, is you don't know that it's black mold because that has to be tested. There's a
Okay.
lot of mold that is black in color, but you would not know that that's actually the case, because there's numerous types of mold and very few of them actually are poisonous or would cause any harm to a human unless in
Okay.
great quantities. So I would say, for your moral dilemma, for you to just sleep good at night, know that there's actually a very small chance it actually is a toxic mold. But as far
Okay.
as your legal obligation, you have 0 legal obligation. They
Yeah,
have an
yeah.
obligation if they purposefully try to cover it up, and at that point it'd be the homeowner that has bought its opportunity or responsibility to do anything.
Yeah.
But you,
Yeah.
because what you don't want to do, and where you could actually get yourself into a lot of trouble, is if you were to go and tell this homeowner, hey, there's black mold that's hidden, and you did not know it was black mold, then you actually could get in trouble, and the current homeowner could then sue you for misrepresenting things. So it actually only could put you into a bigger dilemma.
Okay. Well, then I'll say, I just know that there's mold around the windows.
All of that to be said, I'm not an attorney, and that's not
Yeah.
legal advice.
Okay,
But
yeah.
just
Well,
be careful,
my
because
moral
what you don't
dilemma-
want to do
well-
is say something bad.
Okay. Well, you already helped me, because to know that it's, even though it's black, it's not toxic. So that makes me feel a little bit better there. And I know about this because I got the lead of the 5 houses coming out of probate from my handyman, who did the work on the houses to fix them up, because the family's planning to sell them. And I was trying to get them before they got out of probate. So yeah, it was a lead from my handyman, and he was the one that fixed the damage around the windows. But she didn't want to address the mold. He just to cover it. And
So
he
the-
could only do what he could do.
So Ryan did a really good job taking all the words out of my mouth. Thank you, Ryan.
Okay. Sorry that, yeah, but
Well,
at least it shows other people, but it was a lead from my handyman. That's how I know the problems on the houses.
okay. So people really misunderstand black mold.
Okay.
It might be of your interest to go Google black mold and just see what it says. But you'll find that very little of the mold that people think is black mold is really black mold. It's usually not, and therefore harmless. So there's a lot of conditions and circumstances that have to be in place in order for there to be black mold, and so much of it is not. So it would be probably beneficial to you to just go Google that and see what you find.
Well, I just feel better that somebody's not going to buy a house, and I already know I didn't know that I didn't know that other mold could be black. Yeah.
The other thing you don't want to do, like Ryan mentioned, is that if you start telling people things, you could end up getting sued.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you don't
And
want
that just tells me just to let it go, because there are so many bad houses out there. Like, I know my handyman's fixing a house now that has a sunken kitchen floor, and they're not doing anything. They're just replacing the tile.
Yeah.
So
So why do you think you lost the deal? We'll see if we can salvage it, if that's possible.
well, I think because she didn't really give me a chance. I got the lead and started talking to her, and within 24 hours, she put the house on the market. the houses, because there's 5 of them and one's in Irving, Lancaster. I was really only interested in the Cedar Hill houses, but it fell apart because she didn't give me a chance to do any due diligence or talk to her because she wanted an immediate payout. And I think she got one of those calls from the 2.5 or a 2% commission realtors, and she put it on the market. Since then, this was like a month ago. Since then, I've learned she pulled the sign out of one of the yards, and
So what is she asking for this house versus, I mean, did the two of you talk about numbers?
no, she didn't let me get to that chance. And the point, we were just discussing the problems. And part of the problem is she's not living in reality. She wants top dollar, and there is a lot of work on these houses, and some of the houses have renters in them. And that was so it's a difficult case, but she wants an immediate fix, and that's why.
So what I would do is go back to her and say, I noticed that you have gone ahead and listed the home. I'm sorry to see that. If I would still like to work with you. If that doesn't work out, please let me know. I'll be happy to sit down with you and get you a cash offer right away, or something to that effect. Don't burn the bridge. Make sure she knows the bridge is still there and that you're still willing to help and still interested in that property. Especially if you were having a good conversation. And
it was kind of good. And I would say the bridge hasn't quite been built yet, but since then it's gotten worse on her end.
I'd still go back and let her know that, so that she knows that if the agent that gave her a song and dance and convinced her to list it doesn't perform, then you're still there and interested.
That's already happened, but it's drama.
And the reason this is important, and maybe even more important now, is I'm seeing a lot of houses go under contract. Day or two later, they go back on the market.
Yep.
And what they're doing is, a lot of the investors are going in there and making a full price offer or higher than full price. And then they're coming back and saying, oh, we did an inspection. We see all these things wrong. We need to reduce the price to this. And consequently, that ticks off the seller, ticks off the agent, and it goes back on the market. But if you're getting any kind of expired listings and watching MLS, you'll see a lot of homes are days on market are increasing considerably, and a lot of homes going under contract are coming back on the market. And I'm seeing price reductions as well. So all of these things are good to all of us on this call. It means that market's changing, and there could be some opportunities for you to step in and make some cash offers and quick closings, and make the appropriate offer that the home rates, not the offer that they want, but offer what the home is worth to you, and see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. And I think part of the other problem is she wants to sell all 5 together. And I initially only wanted the Cedar Hill home. And the home that has the mold problem is in Lancaster, Texas. But I'm interested, but it's a lot smaller and doesn't have a renter now.
So if it'll get you the deal, why don't you put them all under contract and go wholesale the ones you don't want?
That I would do if she would let me. Yeah. And
I would do them in separate contracts, so it's easier to go sell them. But if that will get you the deal that you want, then go do it. Go do it all at once, and then just wholesale the others.
Yeah. Well, what do you do with people? And part of this is the deal. She says one thing and then does another.
Well,
I mean, but constantly, not just with me, but with my handyman. And
So put
Yeah.
what you will do in writing. And when she
Okay.
signs it, then she can't change it. At that point, she has to comply with the contract
okay,
unless she terminates within,
the terminate option period. Okay.
But
All right.
I would go try it. I mean,
Yeah.
the worst that can happen is she says no, but what if that makes her happy and you get 5 contracts?
Yeah.
And remember, you have Real Flow. So you and I are networked and connected in Real Flow, and you can publish them on Real Flow through the Power Match and send it to me, and I can put it out to my list. And I've got buyers everywhere
Okay.
for the most part.
Yeah. Okay.
So, that's one way you can get them sold quick. But
Uh-huh.
I would go put them all under contract and knowing that you just going to wholesale the other 4.
Okay. And then I have to deal with it, and they can do their own due diligence, and okay. And like you said, the windows have to be replaced unless somebody just, want to throw a renter in there. But
Okay,
thank you.
you're welcome. Brian, anything?
Hello, Tim. Hello, everybody. I think for myself and Jennifer, she's back there still working a W-2 job right now, but we just moved into our new house. There are
Cool.
boxes everywhere. There's a fence being built to hold the dogs in today. So we got a lot going on.
No less.
Yeah, in the mud. So right now I'm on here just listening and getting educated as usual, but we plan on picking this thing back up in 2023 when we get everything situated, organized, and get back together. But again, I always want to be part of the network and listening to these issues and the problem solving sets that you and everybody else brings forward, because it's just educational, obviously. But that's where I'm at today.
That's the thing to be doing, Brian. You're doing the right thing. Ryan, you got any deals going on? No?
I don't have time for deals. I'll do this side gig of hard money lending that I'm in the office for. We're up to, the company this month will probably do about 120 loans.
Yeah, Lee.
I'll be doing about 30 of them, and we only have, I think, 27 funding days in the month. So
Nice. Well,
it's crazy.
Congratulations.
I don't know. That's not a congratulations. They know it. I like to work from home when I can, as much as I can, but
Right.
yeah.
So,
Ryan, just a quick question for Ryan. I got one of those unfortunate letters in the mail from about a month ago. Has that been corrected?
Oh, yeah. So we don't actually even know if they got anything. We had a possible data breach, and just to stay on the safe side and out of an abundance of caution, because our president is an attorney, we sent out letters to everybody who had ever submitted an application or had any material contact with us, just to make sure. There's been no reports of any foul play with anyone's information, because we've monitored that with all of our customers and employees.
Okay.
But we've since then changed some extra systems to make sure it's even more difficult for people to get in. But yeah, luckily there was nothing adverse that actually has happened so far that we're aware of.
Well, so then if hard money lending is going good, that means the market for investors is improving.
Drastically. Year over year, we're almost double in growth, and we've been around for 15 years. So it's bizarre that we've increased quite so much. Now, there are some lenders out there that have seen decreases, but for us, we're almost double what we were doing last year.
good. Well, hopefully that continues for you. So,
Hopefully
for
the market
myself,
just gets better. I just like seeing that people are able to buy at better deals. We've seen a lot more people that are being able to fund their deals at 100%. So the good news is, if you're out there buying from a wholesale, you should not be paying more than 75% of the purchase price plus repairs versus ARV. If you are, then you need to find a new wholesaler.
Yep. So I still don't typically deal with wholesalers. I'm still marketing directly to sellers. And you know, I've seen a uptake in activity. I'm still working on my big rehab. It's coming. It's a little slow to my liking, but it's coming along. We still don't have windows, so that's still going to be the long pole in the tent, but the rest of the house is coming together. We're down to just some details now.
Tim?
I did just look at a potential rehab and maybe wholesale deal in Meadowbrook area, Fort Worth. That was a probate deal, and mom deeded the property to the son, didn't tell him about the $70,000 home equity line of credit, and then she passed away from COVID. So, you know, he got a quick claim deed on the house, which I'm not excited about. And he's been paying the payment, but now he's either tired of it or can't. He's 2 months behind. The bank's threatening him, of course. And it's a complete gut job. Just before she got sick, she took out the loan. She started doing some demo for rehab stuff. That's what she took out the line of credit for. While right after she passed away, the hot water heater blew up, flooded the house. So insurance come in. I'm sorry. That was just before she got sick. She initiated the insurance claim. They come in and strip the house down, cut the drywall up, cleaned out all the floors. Turns out, though, there was a leak under the kitchen and the bathroom. Part of the bathroom, the master shower wall sunk about 3 inches. The floor joists had rotted. And the insurance just put a piece of plywood over it and reinforced it so people could stand on it safely. And then mom passed away, and the insurance company refused to talk to the son about it to finish the repairs. So anyhow, that's that house. And then tomorrow I'm going to look at one up in Breckenridge, a little further away than I want, but I'll probably just wholesale that because it is too far away. So I'm seeing an increase in activity, and that's good. And I hope it continues that way. So,
Can I ask you a question on your big rehab?
yes, sir.
How long has it been since you ordered those windows? I hear they're taking forever.
We, without looking at the calendar, I think the windows are right at about 9 weeks right now.
Mm.
And, you know, we going into it, we anticipated 10 weeks. So what the mistake was that I made was not, even though I knew it, we didn't make the decision on the window soon enough. We should have done it day one. So that was my fault, as well as the contractor. We've already talked about that. Should have done that sooner. Won't make that mistake again. And for anybody doing rehabs like that, make sure if you're ordering windows, make sure you get them done day one.
But that's only been the last 2 years that it's been like that. Because you used to be able to get custom windows in, 5, maybe 6 weeks, and that's custom. If you're going with generic holes, then you should be able to get it even a little faster. But now, just even generic windows are taking 8 to 10 weeks.
The problem is glass, and it's also the white vinyl frame is not the problem, but if you get colored vinyl, that's the problem. I'm just getting white, so our problem is getting glass. So many of the logistical issues that we saw during COVID or caused by COVID have improved, but this glass problem has not improved. And I was hoping it was going to be better, because I did a house in Burleson about just over a year ago, and they advertised 12 weeks. They came in 9. So I was hoping this was better and we'd be under 9, but we're not.
Well, Tim, I just thought, I ordered windows for my own home, and they're custom. And I went with a Southern window company that specializes, and they're a little bit more expensive.
Right.
But part of their problem is their place they make them is in Florida. So the hurricane added an extra month, but
Okay.
they still, I mean, they're the best windows that you can get. But so if anybody is doing a highly custom home and they want that, I can give them that deal, but I won't get my windows till February.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not a rehab, but it's not glass or vinyl. It's because but they are building a place here in Texas, and they only do the southern states because their windows are designed for southern climate. I found out there's a difference for windows in different climates. So
Well,
that
good,
may be, yeah.
good to hear. Anything else before we go to Otis? Ruth Ann, did you have anything else you wanted to tell everybody about, market changes or anything?
We are seeing a lowering of interest rates, even with the state programs that we use for down payment assistance and all that. Of course, we're glad appraisals are coming back quickly. So things are improving. They sure are.
The appraisals coming back quickly are probably partially to do with the less activity, right? Less home sales and less
Right.
home. Well, there's more homes on the market, but there's not so many offers being accepted and so forth. So,
Right.
yeah.
Very
Okay.
glad about that.
We have appraisers that are now reaching out to us. We used to always have to hunt appraisers down to get a list of appraisers for our deals because we always have quick turnaround times. So they don't like doing that.
Yeah.
But now we have appraisers reaching out to us that we haven't talked to in years, that they're just looking for work.
Okay. Otis, does your camera work there?
Yes, sir, it works.
Okay. Can you see the whiteboard?
Yes.
So bear with me here. This is the first time I've used a whiteboard on a call. I need to go read up on it and learn a little bit more about it and get comfortable with it, but I did this ahead of time. So why don't you walk us through this deal that you're asking me a question on here, Otis, and tell everybody what's happening.
Okay, so this was a probate deal.
Can you speak up a bit? Because I can barely hear you compared to everybody else.
Okay, hold on Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello? Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You just need to speak up so that.
Okay, wait a minute. I got my headphones in, so let me take those off and just go to speakerphone. Hold on. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this was a property in Memphis. I originally saw it on Zillow. I know the people who had the property. And originally on Zillow, it was like $46,000. The comps in the area, the highest one that I saw at the time was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. This property is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, no central heating, air, just a regular old rental house. And it had like 46, 42 on Zillow. The highest sale that I saw in the area was and this one is 1,200 square feet. I saw a 2,300 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-bath that sold for 77. Saw something else comparable that sold for 55. So I talked to the owner. I said 40. I had somebody go by and take a look at it. He told me it would need at least 15 in repairs. It has about $6,000 or $7,000 in back taxes, and I said I would take care of all of that. But the issue was they wanted 20,000, so that was pushing me up toward what the repair price was. You know,
Okay. So
Go ahead.
before we go any further, I heard you say Zillow a half dozen times.
Yep.
Do you not have real comps?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna, I say this all the time. You really have got to find a source of pulling comps where you get MLS data. Zillow is nothing but a estimate based on a fancy algorithm and a bunch of numbers. And if you go compare Zillow to all the other free tools, you're going to get multiple free prices, none of which are going to be accurate and correct. So
Well,
I would,
what I saw on Zillow, these were actual home sales. So
I-
these were home sales in the area.
but I'm just telling you, Zillow is not real MLS sold data.
Okay.
It's a calculation based on a formula that they use. So if you go take one address and go to a half dozen of these different free sites, you're gonna get a half dozen different prices.
Okay.
So meet a realtor or something to get real numbers. Here in Texas, we have tools like Propelio, so you can pull real MLS sold numbers. But and if you're going to use the free stuff, you need to be making way big time lowball offers to stay conservative and stay safe. So what do you think the home is worth then based on what you saw on Zillow?
Okay. So like I said, it was about about 42, 43, but it needed some repairs. But here's this issue that got me and reason why I'm bringing it to the group. So I went on the tax assessor site and I also used Deal Machine. So I was able to see that somebody bought this property with hard money for $92,800. They had a sales price of 77 some odd $1,000. So I'm like, okay, that's way over, so basically financing about $100,000 for this 3-bedroom, 1-bath property with no central heating and air, none of the amenities, when the highest value property in the area was 77,000 for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. And
When was that sale? Was that just recent?
yeah, it's recent, like in August. No, maybe September. So it was sold in September because I started talking to her fairly early on and she just kind of ghosted me. And then I found out why she ghosted me when I saw it on there. But even at 92%, I'm just rounding it up to 100. When they try to refi that out, they're only going to get 80%. I don't see how that is going to make money. So that's why I'm bringing it to the group to help me understand, like, what should I learn from this lesson? Because so just what should I take from this lesson? Because it was financed with a hard money lender, $92,800, but it had a sales price of 77. So I'm guessing some of that extra $18,000 is going to be used for repairs. So that's why I'm bringing it to the group, because I wasn't sure and finding out what I can learn.
So I would say, first off, you just don't know what you don't know.
Mhm.
We don't know if the pricing was way off, as far as the value of that home. It's been known to happen where, it's incorrect information. What did the tax appraisal district value come in at?
Well, if you look on the tax assessor site, it's valued at like $11,000.
Okay. So it could be that they bought it as a value add and they're going to go in and bulldoze it and build new. Maybe there's a Walmart going in across the street from it. So they're playing on,
No, I'm familiar with this area. So I forgot the guys on the call. He told me we were talking Saturday about going to Como. It's almost a step up from Como.
okay.
If I can help that make sense for everybody, so you can have some context about what the neighborhood looks like. You know what I'm saying? It's a house built in 19, I think it was 47, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, no central heating air. It has like heating units in the floor.
So, I just don't know without having a
Okay.
conversation with them. I mean, again, you're not using real MLS data. There could be something going on in the neighborhood that they could have based that value on. It could have been an inexperienced investor that did the deal, but then I don't know how the hard money lender would have
Right.
lent money on it.
Exactly.
So
That's exactly what I was thinking.
it could be an inexperienced hard money lender that maybe they're buds or something. And I don't know. I mean, it's without real numbers, and it's just hard to say what was going on and how they did what they did. I mean,
Yeah,
I just don't know. I can tell you that one of the things that would be questionable right off for me is the fact that a $20,000 house is gonna by far have a lot more than $15,000 in repair.
No, so initially, remember what I said is that when I looked at the comparable sales in the area, I did use Zillow for the sales that have been in the area. So you had like a 70, you had a 50, you had a 40, and then the Zestimate was like about 46, 42, 46. I'm just going off what I remember from when I looked it up in July. But these were real sales. Okay. This was not the Zestimates. So I told her the
So,
house was about,
just so you know,
wait a minute,
Otis.
let me just wait a minute, let me finish
Okay.
telling. So let me tell you how I got to that. So it was her mom's house. It was vacant and it needed repairs. So she wanted $20,000 for the property. If I gave her 20 plus 15 on repairs, plus an extra 6 for back taxes, that kind of puts me over. And I didn't want to do that, so that's how I came up with, I can give her 7 cash for the property. I catch up the back taxes, or if she will owner finance it to me for 15,000, I could do that. So I just wanted to clean all of that up for what was on the screen so that you would know.
Yep. So Ryan, you wanted to say something?
I was just going to say, so there's a list, and I'm not going to put it in the chat, of 18 states that are non-disclosure states. These states mean that the sale price of that home is not public record.
Tennessee is not one of them. So I just moved from
Tennessee is a non-disclosure state. They do not have to disclose publicly what the sale price is. That's one of the 18 that is not right now. They're what they would call, for Tennessee specifically, it's what we call a neither full disclosure nor non-disclosure. But what that means is that an agent has the opportunity to update in Zillow. However, it is not required, nor is it made evident if that's what happened. If you're in one of the other 32 states, then at that point, it's actually mandated that the government report what the sale price is. And that's where Zillow, you can use Zillow in those 32 states and get a relatively accurate number. It's tough to search through to get the sales data from, so it's not as easy to use as MLS. But for the 18 states that are right now in the chat, those states are what we would call either full non-disclosure or partially non-disclosure states, meaning you will not get public data for the sales price.
Yeah, it's not like,
so it just makes it difficult.
Yeah, because I've also used, like, I don't like the Propelio. I know you guys use that, but I've used like PropStream, and I also have Deal Machine. So these are real comparable sales that, these are the sales prices. Now I agree with you.
Be careful with PropStream. PropStream right now does not have actual MLS data. If you read the fine print, it'll tell you they're using estimates based on lender prices. We actually had an issue where someone kept telling us a house sold for this amount. It sold for 500,
Right.
and they even showed me PropStream. The problem
Right.
is the loan was a VA loan. So when it said that the loan was for $400,000, PropStream automatically thought that, oh, well, it's 500,000 and that's an 80% loan. It wasn't, it was 100% loan. So they were off by 100,000 on their
Okay.
valuation, because
Gotcha.
that was in Fort Worth about a year ago. So just make sure. And I told them, I was like, well, does PropStream tell you that it's live data? And he was eventually found out that it wasn't. Now that may not be the case any further, because I know that they're working to get access. So is Real Estate IQ. Tim, I was talking with Steve on that Saturday meeting. They're right now working on getting theirs back up and running, and they have to do it state by state. But so PropStream may have already done it. I don't know.
Well, I'll say this because I haven't used it in about a year, and like I say, I'm using Deal Machine now. But I will say this: Texas does not disclose, and it was hard for me to do deals in Texas, versus Tennessee. I was able to see those sales, and like I say, I'm from the city, so I'm pretty familiar with it. My question to you guys was, that's about 100% off, right? So if I'm looking at something and the comps in the area are like 50, 46, 70, and then this lender comes in and gives them 92.8, and I hear what you're saying, but I see the sale price of, I think it was like 77 some odd $1,000. So even if they're building in repairs, this, that, and the other, I didn't see any, and when they try to refi that out, and this what, I'm glad the lenders are on the line, but I thought when you go to a permanent loan with a bank, they're only going to give you 80% of the value of the house. So it looks like they will be upside down. So what did I do wrong in my evaluation? So, and I hear what you guys are saying. So maybe I should have used a different system other than, what I saw.
So
I mean, just from a lender standpoint, like Tim was saying, they could have just, maybe they told them that they're going to do square footage ad.
Okay.
Now with $12,000 budget, they're not going to be doing very much square footage ad if
Yeah.
that's what their budget is. And yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I could think.
the only thing
Okay.
I can think of is that the after repaired value is much higher than you thought it to be. And
Okay.
or somebody has made a big mistake and lent too much money on this house. Somebody BS somebody and pulled the wool over their eyes, and they were able to get a loan. And if that's the case, then they are going to have trouble with the refinance, most likely.
Because the max rent in that area, max, like super top, is like $900. That's like the top, tippity top. So
Well, there's two other things. This is Lisa McCormick. There's two other things that I've learned that you guys, I've just went through some continuing education because I have a license to sell trailers in manufactured homes in Texas. And
Okay.
I've learned of something called opportunity costs, that it's an investment thing that helps people in tax over the next 5 years. So you don't know who the lender for this is. And this opportunity might be an opportunity for them to get into something that would be what they consider low income housing. So the lender may be doing this for that, and we don't know that because we don't know who the lender is. It may be private, even though it's a hard money lender on paper. It may be a private lender, so it helps them this way, and they know the person. And then they may be scraping the house and putting something different, like a duplex, that would get twice the rent, even though you know the place. Because they're doing that a lot in Dallas, where they're taking those old homes that they don't want to rehab because they were built in the 50s, scraping them and building duplexes or low income housing because the city is helping them do that. So all of these issues may be happening in that city since it's so poor, just like it is in Dallas. So,
Yeah.
that's another way to go with that. I don't know, because they have programs in Dallas. I don't know if they have that in your city. So there may be more going on,
Yeah, like I say, I'm like I have 2 properties in the area already, right? So
Okay.
it's not a lot going on. And I'm just like, okay. So I know that we have hard money lender and permanent financing on the phone. And then I know Tim is an experienced investor. I'm like, okay, did I miss something? Because when I talked to, my guy about it, I was like, well, good luck with that, because I don't see that deal making, in the end, because I think the interest rate, and this is just looking at the data that I pulled from Deal Machine. It was, they did like, I think it was 5 years at like 5.2% for $92,800, but the sales price was $77,000 on the house.
Yeah, I just don't know, not knowing what their exit strategy is and what they're doing.
Yeah.
There's you can get into some really creative deal structuring stuff, Otis.
Mhm.
You can pay more than what a home is worth. But you got to have the right terms and financing in order to do that. If
Right.
they have the typical hard money terms, that's going to make that deal pretty hard to
Yeah.
deal with it unless they have some creative plan in place to, like Lisa said, scrape it and start over or something. It's just hard to say how they're going to make money.
Yeah. I
There's-
didn't see it. Yeah. I'm with you.
So
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy.
yeah, I think your number, I see the logic to your numbers, but you know, we don't know what we don't know, meaning we don't know what they were thinking, what they're planning, and what their exit strategy was going to be to refinance out of the hard money. We don't know what the terms are. Yeah, it's just hard to say.
Mhm. Okay.
I see what you were doing, you know, you've got the back taxes, you got the repairs. You know, the owner finance, you know, your strategy for the owner finance, give them 15,000. You know, that's a good strategy as long as the numbers work on the monthly cash flow, trying to pay that off in 2 years. But
Right.
you know, it's again, we don't know what they're thinking and planning.
Right. And usually on the owner finance, I let them say a price and I try to level set like what an interest rate would be for like a CD or something like that. And I tell them that, you know, you're the bank. So, you know, I can't walk into the bank and set my own terms. So I kind of, you know, level set a little bit that way. So I'm not paying a crazy interest rate on owner finance. So that's the reason why I didn't put that in the deal. But I was gonna pay cash, but I could, I mean, and I don't blame them for selling their property for $70,000. Like I say, it was in bad shape.
Yeah, I don't
So
blame
they
you.
won. Yeah, they won. They won big time.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't see my lender, my long-term financing giving me $80,000 or what's that, $56,000 for their property. Maybe 56,
Yep.
you know, maybe.
So
So
the one thing I will tell you is that, you know, when you build well-established relationships with private lenders, you know, maybe they've been buddies, you know, maybe they
gotcha.
got an idea of how to work together and do this deal. Maybe they're
Okay.
gonna require them to refinance in, you know, 3 months or 6 months or something. Maybe they're gonna stretch it out and stuff. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just don't know. So there's a lot of things you can do if you can get creative, but why they did what they did, I don't know. Section 8, you know, that they may be trying to, you know, rebuild there and then rent with Section 8 for long term or something. I just don't know. But I don't think you did anything wrong other than not using MLS data,
Right.
you know, which was only going to help you. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it may have given you a better ARV, it may not have. I just don't know. Zillow,
Well,
you know, Zillow data is all over the map. You can't say
yeah.
it's always low. You can't say it's always high. It's just all over the place.
Well, and to your point, I think, and I'm, you know, most of the times I think as a buyer, you're usually on the low end of something, even if you give a range to a seller, you know, when you're trying to acquire a property. And I think I may lose out on stuff sometimes because I'm too low. So
Yeah.
I'll do a better job of getting better research, using better tools to look at that sales. And, you know, I try to be quick, you know, as you're talking to people on the phone, you know, you pull over and you're trying to get information and talk to them. So I think that's where I can do a better job of.
So let me just, since we're talking about deal structuring and offers and percentages and stuff, let me just say that, you know, risk, this business is all about risk versus reward.
Okay.
You know, the higher the risk you take, the more reward you expect, right?
Okay.
So if you start taking high risk with low reward, you could take it in the shorts and come out on the losing end of the stick. And what I mean by that is, you know, if a person is nothing but a buy and hold landlord, and that person never sells anything, the risk of them losing money is pretty low.
Right.
If they fix and flip, or, you know, plan to keep them, you know, less than 2 years and turn them, you know, there's a lot of risk there if they're paying too much money.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into creative deal structuring, you know, you can offer more than a house is worth and make a killing, but not if you turn around and what if you buy it with the intent of keeping it for 30 years, but then something happens and you have to sell it within a year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're screwed.
I'm motivated now.
Yeah, because you paid too much for that house.
Right.
There's a lot of investors that, you know, want to have 50, 60 cents on the dollar. Or
Yeah.
I've seen people say, I want 30 cents on the dollar. And those are just crazy and greedy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But there's a lot of buy and hold investors that'll buy at 80 and 90 cents on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just a quick question, Otis, didn't you say this was a probate deal?
Well, the mother had died and she had left the property. It was in heirship. So I had an attorney who was going to help them work out the rights of heirship, this, that, and the other. But the house was paid off, but there were 5 siblings.
Yeah, because
Yeah, and it was-
I've had 2 probate deals and I've run into problems because of multi-family members.
Yeah,
So
and
that's,
each one,
yeah,
and each one
that
wanted,
might have, yeah.
yeah, and each one wanted some money, and that just, like I say, when I was looking at it being like 40 something, and then the repairs 15 plus, you know, just really 17, you know, on repairs, that almost pushed me at the, you know, total price of the house. And when I'm paying my cash, you know, I'm more cautious. So maybe I should have got some hard money, but still, that wouldn't have been only 70% of the ARV, which was, you know, not too much. But I was looking to keep that property, to Tim's point.
yep. So, you know, when you get into those kind of deals, if it is your intent to keep it forever and ever,
Mm-hmm.
how bad do you want it? You know, are you willing to pay a little more? Of course, the numbers still got to work, right? So
Right.
if you're paying more, then, you know, you got to be careful, make sure your monthly cash flow is not out of whack, you know, with
Yep.
if you're paying private lender fees or whatever on that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But you can do owner finance deals. Like I did one with no money down, no payments for 2 years, and in a 2%, it was either 2 or 3% interest rate on that once I started paying payment.
Yeah, that's
So,
nice.
you know, that worked out great. And
Yeah.
it was on a brand new house, a year and a half old or so when I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not normal. But I paid her more than she paid for it. But I knew I was going to make money because I was going to rent it for a couple of years and then owner finance it. So I knew it was going to be worth more money being sold on owner finance.
Right.
So, but had I done that deal and something happened where I had to sell it in a year, you know, I'd have been in trouble.
Gotcha.
So it's all about risk versus reward. If you're planning on flipping it, you know, turning it quick, you got to make sure that you still have room in it to turn around and sell it.
Right. And I think, to your point, you know, and what I learned on the last call is just having multiple strategies to be able to meet the need of the person. But, you know, if they're not motivated to do anything and the house isn't, you know, in timelines and things like that, it just, you know, adds, I have to have the knowledge in order to be able to help people.
And so you need multiple strategies, you know, offers to the seller, but you want to have multiple exit strategies too.
Yes.
So, you know, because it, depending on which option they choose, for example, if they chose an all cash offer,
Mhm.
that gives you a lot of flexibility on how you sell it. But if they want a full price offer, maybe you can't flip it
Mhm.
because there's not enough room in it to go in and do the rehab on it. Maybe you need to sell it as is as an owner finance deal, or
Mhm.
maybe you need to rent it, do minimal repairs to it and rent it for a few years and then sell it. You know,
Right.
there's just everything that, depending on how the seller, you know, what offer they accept is going to determine a lot of how you exit that deal.
Right.
And also, isn't it possible there are things happening that things are moving into different cities that we don't know about, that the value of the land may be worth more than just the value of the house. So maybe that if you have other houses in that area, it may be good to have a realtor because they would know, like for instance, Alvarado down here, just south of me, things are going nuts and nobody knew
Right.
why, but it's because they're building a Google place down there. So that's something that, you know, I know about it because I have people on the ground there, but that may be happening in that county and you don't know unless you talk to the city or a realtor. And if you have other property, then a realtor would want to help you because you could tell them, you know, you can manage my rental for me and pay her a little, and that would help you. Like Tim
No,
said,
I pretty
MLS.
much got my, I pretty much got my pulse. I'm a part of the neighborhood association. So I've been in Memphis, you know, all my life. I just moved here last year. So I pretty much have my pulse on what's going on. You know, like I said, I just didn't know. I'm like, what could I possibly be missing with this scenario other than those folks got hosed and the other people got away like bandits? I mean, I don't have I think I still have the pictures in my phone, but I'm talking about this house was torn up. It was torn up. And like I say, and it probably comes back to the comparable sales. I know things have gone up in the area, but it didn't seem to have gone up that much in the past couple of months from, you know, me looking at 40, 50 to them now saying the house is 80 or them getting a hard money loan for $93,000. I
So
didn't see that.
if it were me, and you had that much interest in it, if it were me, I'd be putting a calendar reminder on my
Yeah.
calendar
Yeah.
a month from now, a year from now, and go
Yeah.
back and see, have somebody go there, put eyeballs on it and see what they've done,
Yeah. That's exactly what we said last night.
just for the heck of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I just don't know. I'm curious at this point, but
I'm very curious. You're absolutely right. I'm very curious. And I mean, I know I don't get all the ones that I, you know, seek out to get. I kind of wanted this one, you know, just because of where it was in relation to my other stuff and what I'm trying to do. But you know, you can't get them all and you have to keep working because in those areas, a lot of those houses are paid off. They are, you know, deeded to people who die, and there are already a lot of owners of rental, you know, it's a rental area. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to sometimes get into those areas.
yep. So, you know, those, if, keep in mind, if it's something you really, really want, then
Mhm.
think about the owner finance strategy and offering more than what they're asking for.
Yeah.
And then whether you give them nothing down or a little bit down or
Mhm.
a little bit down now with no payments and then a balloon payment in a couple of years or something, or just a small monthly payment, you know, all of
Mhm.
that may, you know, depends on what they're looking for. Some people just like to know that they got more than what they were asking for,
Yeah.
you know, and that makes them feel good about it. But
Now I like that what you said as far as like just stretching it out. If they're gonna own a finance it to me, it's like, yeah, I probably could have went full price on a finance. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. And with no payments and say, you know, for my down payment or earnest money, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use the repairs and the
Yeah,
taxes.
but not with five different family members.
Gotcha.
That's
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is not uncommon in an estate deal where there's multiple heirs and you've got to do something for them usually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's giving, each one of them, I mean, sometimes it might
Mm-hmm.
giving them an owner finance note and paying them individually,
That's crazy.
that makes it hard, but what if the deal's worth it?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. That's true.
But it is not uncommon to have those kind of deals get really difficult when you have so many people involved.
Yeah.
yeah, and Tim, that deal I told you about with the 5 houses, there are 2 heirs. So, but I think the problem is each house needs a lot of work and they're not willing to do anything, but they want full price.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but,
And
yeah.
somebody, I mean, sometimes it takes time to bring them down to reality.
Mm-hmm.
If they go and list it and it's sitting there and somebody has told them, oh, list it and it'll be gone in a few days. And then a month, 2 months later, 3 months later, it's still sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes brings a reality to them and you can go back in there and make them an offer and be done. And if you know that the issue is they want to be done with it right away, then make sure that your offer is clear that you can close it in 5 days or 10 days, whatever it is, so that they know they can be done quickly and get it behind them. They no longer have to worry about it. When you do your offer, you always want your offer to address their pain points, whatever that is, whether it's, I can't afford the repairs, we're tired of the tenants, we don't have the money to do the repairs. We just want to be done with this once and for all and get it behind us. You have to make sure you address that in your offer, so it's clear. You want them to think about the pain and their frustration with that house so that they know that you're going to satisfy it and going to get rid of it and be done with it. So.
Well, thank you guys so much for addressing that. I know it took a long. I'm glad you put me last.
No, I knew this wouldn't be a 1 minute conversation. So. Okay. Have any of you looked at the new Real Flow lead flow app?
No.
Just came out. It's on beta. I got an invite to it.
Okay.
It is a mobile app, kind of like the Propelio Driving Neighborhoods app, kind of like Deal Machine. I just registered just minutes ago before this call, and I'm going to start playing with it. They will eventually get it connected to Real Flow so that the two talk together, but you might go check that out. And I'm not sure. I think what they're doing is just taking the lead part of Real Flow, and putting it into the app. They'll have the wholesale, they'll have the AI rating numbers in there and stuff like that. So I'm going to go try it and see see how I like it.
Okay.
So. Okay, what else? Anything else?
Did you know Real Flow, I told you before, you can get manufactured home listings from there, but I'm also using Real Flow to get listings that are on the MLS. So I watch them for the ones that expire or have been on for more than 90 days. So I'm utilizing that. And it's just something in the background, that I have a lookup for it. So
is it possible that you could do a short video of that, how you do that? Because I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
you mean trailers or the stuff on the MLS?
What you're doing in Real Flow?
Well, um, I can try what I'll write it out and then do a short video and send it to you that way.
Okay.
It'll probably with the holidays, because doing the video myself, I mean, I would rather have somebody holding the video and doing it so it, you know, it's more professional. You could use it, but I can show you how I look up trailers and stuff like that.
You can just do it on your desktop. You don't have to have anybody recording your screen or anything. You can use Screencast-O-Matic or Loom. Either one have a free version.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I've
Yeah.
never done those.
And you just record it on your desktop and just show your movements of where you're clicking and what you're doing, because I don't have a clue how you're doing what you're doing. And
Oh,
I've been
wow.
using Real Flow for a long time, so I just don't know what it is you're doing or how you do. You can write, if it's easy to understand, just write it out and send it to me. And
I think that might, and this is just, I can look up manufactured homes and I'm just using their lead where you do lookups, and there's a way to do manufactured homes. It's just one of the drop down menus.
oh, it
So,
is.
Yep. Well, but I'll write out what I do. I think that may be easier than the video, and I'll just
Okay.
send it to you because it's really easy.
Okay.
Because yeah.
Yeah, if you'll do that, then I'm curious to see what I've been missing. So.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope. And Otis, I see your message. I'll call you about it. But that's it.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Have a great day. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you soon.
All right, Tim, try to stay
Okay,
out of
thanks,
trouble.
Tim. All right.